welcome to the Justice for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 12, the one before the Holishlay. In this episode, JFG Ash gets angry about trains. JFG Alex keeps moving the podcast earlier and earlier. He also forgets something very important. And thanks to audio editing, JFG Ash can string a sentence together. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. And if not, go and vote on your favourite gaming year.
Hello and welcome to the Justice for Gamers podcast. This is episode 12. I am Alex and I'm joined by my good friend Ash.
Hey buddy.
Hey buddy, how you doing?
I am good. I'm getting ready for holiday. I've got my holiday haircut on now. So,
Is that did you get your haircut today?
yeah, why not? Go on then.
Okay, so did I.
No, I didn't actually. Yeah, it was like last Friday, I think it was, or Thursday, or Friday. But yeah. So you got your haircut, was it a holiday haircut? Did you?
No, I'm not going on holiday. I got my haircut ready for your holiday.
Okay. I like it, yeah. Nice.
And by the way, I've dubbed your holiday the Holishlay.
I like it. It's kind of like the Holocaust, but better.
It's much lighter in tone than the Holocaust.
Just
far less frowned upon as well.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, buddy. There might be some crazy times.
Where are you headed?
Auschwitz. Yes, Auschwitz,
okay.
Buddy. Yeah, I've heard it's a really nice destination. They've got a really good strict regime there, I believe.
Indeed.
And
Portugal, cheeky.
Yeah, man, should be a good giggle.
Very nice. Well, obviously that does possibly affect next week's podcast.
Yes.
In that you're not going to be here.
No. Maybe if I had internet over there, I could like Skype it and we could do it. I don't think that
your wife would be
well,
delighted.
Yeah. I don't think that would be a good idea.
Well, there's a chance that I'll be able to rope someone in for the week and edit some sort of nonsense together myself. But if nothing appears next Sunday, I'll post something on Facebook and Twitter, letting you know one way or the other. But if I'm not successful, then if it doesn't appear, then you'll know why.
That's fine. I am okay with this.
Yeah, leaving you out of it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm gonna pull out all the stops, mate.
Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah, I tell you, the reason that I'm really quite desperate to record another podcast, despite the fact that you're not here, is because I love audio editing on 10-year-old systems.
Yes,
I just
big fan.
I can't get enough. Of it.
It's awesome.
Anyway, let's move on to what's new on the site this week.
Go on,
a section not sponsored by anyone.
Not this week.
So new on the site this week, we have PS Now First Play. Thought we'd do an article about our experiences with PS Now so far. Largely positive ones, as we mentioned last week. And the what we've been playing section will have some PS Now bits and bobs in there, because I loaded it up the other day. I was like, oh, I've got like 30 games to just play for nothing because I'm on this beta thing. I should probably tuck in. So that'll be coming along.
Yeah.
We did a Project Cars video with impressions of what we make of it so far. That was good fun, wasn't it, with my awful internet connection that night?
Oh God, yeah. What was up with that? It was really it just kept booting us out, didn't it? Wasn't great, but I don't think that was it definitely wasn't the game's fault. That was Shitty Virgin. being awesome.
It was shitty Virgin. I was getting 800k rather than the 50 odd meg that I'm supposed to be getting. And when I went on to the help site that night, it's got those, those stupid fucking little live chat thingies where there's a bloke on there. He's like, how can I be of assistance? And I was like, yeah, maybe you could. I'm getting under a meg for my 50 meg connection. He was like, tracking the IP, taking the details and that. He's like, I can confirm there's nothing wrong with your connection. I was like, well, the thing is that I'm getting 800k and I should be getting 50 meg.
Yeah.
So I think there's something wrong there. And then he said, hang on a minute. And a minute went by, maybe two. Maybe I'm being kind on him there. And then he was like, try it again. And I was getting 45. And I said, what did you do? And he was like, I just reset something or other. And I was like, okay, so there was something wrong then. Because you've just fixed it. So there must have been something wrong because now it's working.
Brilliant.
He was like, no,
it was fine, but I just had to fix this thing. But no, it wasn't broken. Genius, mate. Genius.
I've long since wondered if any of the internet service providers perform these like shady deeds where they'll just like cap you until you notice and then pop it back up afterwards. I feel like that happens, but
Blatantly,
I'm not suggesting
all of the websites you're on, and as soon as you go on like speed.net or whatever, or speedtest.net, they're like, oh shit, they're onto us. Quick boys, sort his internet out.
Yeah. Of course, this is the opinions of Justice for Gamer, and there's absolutely no proof, and we're not naming any specific companies. Just feel like we should cover our asses there.
Nah, mate, fuck them all.
We both end up with like 20k for the next week or so.
Yeah, our Skype's slowly going to deteriorate right now to like start. But yeah, mate, I agree.
So yeah, once we sorted that out, we recorded a Project Cars video, done a little impressions thing, and that should be up now. So have a look at that. That's about it that's new on the site. We've still got the game week going on. Someone has voted for other.
What?
Yeah, which isn't cool.
Why would you do that?
So someone thinks we're both wrong.
Okay. That's fine.
I'm unimpressed by this.
That's their opinion. They're allowed to have it, but they're wrong.
Yes, they're allowed to hold that wrong opinion. They're more than welcome to.
Indeed.
But yeah, keep voting on that. Obviously, with Ash being away next week, I think we'll go back to that the week you come back off of your Holishlay.
Yeah.
And
sounds so wrong.
We should have the scores on the doors by that point, and we can talk a little bit more about it. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna hire loads of people just to vote for me. You know how you can get like YouTube hits for like £5? I'm gonna do that. So I'll be like, just vote for me. Vote for me.
10,000 votes for 2002.
Yeah. To be like, what? Yeah, we just had loads of activity that day because they read my article and they were like, wow, that's amazing.
That is a little
He's
above
absolutely
average. Right. Cool, man. Well, so yes, that's what's new on the site this week. So I suppose we should move on to what we've been playing.
Not a lot. So, since when did we do it last time? Wednesday. So, yeah, it's nearly a week, just under a week. I got involved on game night, which was a Friday, which was the standard. Actually, no, we did Evo, Pro Evo, and then Project Cars, didn't we? On that, which was nice. Had some good times there. And then Saturday and Sunday, I was busy in London, doing shit. London Tan. Dan London, yeah. Moving shit about various places in London, which was ace. And then Monday, what did we do on Monday? I can't remember. It was yesterday. We played Project Cars, probably.
Yeah, we play Project Cars.
Yeah, so I really haven't played that many games. But what I have played is PS Now Truck Racer.
Oh, yeah!
I was waiting for that because I know you really enjoyed this, buddy, didn't you?
Well, I am the racing expert of the Justice for Gamers podcast. So, Truck Racer certainly caught my eye. If only for the name, Truck Racer.
We picked this game because it was called Truck Racer, obviously. But we wanted to see how the multiplayer support for PS Now actually worked, and it worked really well. We didn't have any kind of issues. We found it a little bit of a struggle to get in a game together. Was it that it wasn't popping up on your menu or on your screen, like the invitation or something? I can't remember. Something like that.
It was a little bit temperamental. Sometimes there was a little bit of a delay before it popped up. And one time it didn't appear on the screen at all, but when I went into the virtual cross-media bar, it was sitting there. So, little glitches and stuff, but it worked perfectly once we were sort of in. I say perfectly. We were playing fucking truck racing, but
which I can say is absolute wank.
Yes. Awful.
There's absolutely nothing good about that game. I think I'm going to go and platinum it, though. I'm going to go all the way for the trophies on that one.
Look, it's easy to platinum. Like, all of the trophies were, like, rarity of 35% and stuff. I think you could easily do it.
It's easy, buddy. It's just because people have spent money on that, and they're like, wow, the only thing that I can get out of this is a platinum, so I'm going to fucking do it.
It's the least I deserve.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game was terrible. I did like my finish though. So there was like damage on the trucks, obviously, and throughout I think it was a 3-lap race, I was hitting most of the corners at speed, and then I'm coming around the final corner. I'm like, yeah, I got this in the bag, and I just clipped the edge, and boom, my truck catches on fire and rolls over the finish line, but because I died before the finish line, it didn't count, and it gave you the win. Which is a bit harsh, mate, I think.
It didn't give you the win because you were literally on fire. Now, I think that deserves the win in and of itself, regardless of where your truck finishes. To cross the line ablaze, it deserves something anyway, but you got nothing. Further reinforcing.
I think I got a trophy.
The game is.
Not
you got a trophy for being on fire.
Being on fire, yeah.
Well, that's nice.
So Truck Racer. Avoid it at all costs, I think.
Indeed. Move on.
Okay, so whilst down in London town, I had my trusty Vita with me. So I played a bit of the Swapper, which I hadn't picked up for ages, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And took me about half an hour to realise what I was doing.
It's fucking mind-boggling, mate.
Yeah. I've only realised this time of playing it, though, that you can slow time down. I did not know that. I've been playing that game, like, in normal speed. So, like, you know how you're meant to, like, create a person, then shoot to that person, then create another one and shoot to that person, and so on, like, so you can get further up, like, up the map or whatever. Yeah, I didn't know you could hold the button down and slow time.
It's surely almost impossible to progress without that mechanic.
No, mate, I was just really good at it. Like, my timing was spot on. I was like, right, go. It was, but yeah, mate, that game's well easy now. I'm just like, well, I can do this at like a snail's pace. I was like, wow, this game's really challenging at first. You know, they've really got me hooked here with like how fast you've got to react to it. But nah, mate, piece of piss now. Just got to work out all the puzzles. Which is another thing.
Which is a challenge of itself, really.
Yeah. So, I've been playing a bit of that, and I think I'm going to try and finish that off while on my Holishlay. I can't say it. It's just weird.
Holishlay.
On the Holishlay. There you go. Also, I tried Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, which is a PSP game which I got bundled in with my Vita. I'm sure it was a great game back in the day, but it just doesn't look very nice and plays pretty badly to other like platformers like Tearaway on the Vita now, I must say.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really get into it. The controls were a bit funny. You had to get like your windmill or whatever it is out your backpack at some point to do an extended jump, and you had to like jump whilst holding down the L button, which I think is crouch. So it would like crouch and then jump, and it was a bit fiddly. Maybe on a PSP it might be a bit better, but I don't see how. But I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna bother playing that because it's, like I said, it's a PSP game, a bit dated now. So I'd still like to try a decent Ratchet and Clank game, like maybe like one of the Vita games. Is there one on the PS Now? Do we know?
There is one on the PS Now which I've been playing.
Okay. You can
and
talk
yeah,
about
I'll
that
talk
in
a little bit about that in my section.
Apart from that, whilst on the Vita, I realised that the YouTube app doesn't work anymore, which was very annoying, so I had to delete that. But good news is you can still get it through the web browser, so I don't know what the point of that was, but yeah, they've taken away a few of the apps now in whatever update it was, so
Sucks.
yeah, I think so. It's a bit annoying. I did like the YouTube app. I don't know why they've done it, licensing or something, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, all I'm thinking is that there was a license agreement with certain apps that they allowed to expire. I mean, they really are peddling the Vita now as like a shit second screen.
Yeah,
like
or a secondary controller.
An extra controller
or
or something.
Exactly.
Which is a real shame because it's an excellent machine. They've also taken the Facebook app away. That doesn't work anymore. And the Google stuff, YouTube, as you say, is gone. Also Google Maps. It had a really decent Google Maps application on there. That's gone as well. Ellen pointed that out to me a few weeks ago. I didn't know YouTube was gone as well.
Yeah.
It's just a poor showing. I mean, we're heading towards E3 in a few weeks' time. I'd imagine there'll be no mention of anything Vita there either. They just... I feel like they gave up on it before they needed to, really. I think that they didn't give it they didn't try hard enough with it. That's what I think.
No, you're definitely right. It's just nothing to them anymore. Like you say, it's been sold as like a secondary screen. And like, to be honest, I think I picked mine up for like, I think it was about 85 quid from Amazon Germania, which was an absolute bargain, I must say. But I've used it more as like a portable gaming system than like a secondary screen from a PS4. I did try out the Guacamelee thing, by the way, that I said I would.
Oh, you did it?
And yeah.
Oh.
I couldn't really tell the difference on the screen, to be honest. there might have been something different about it, but I couldn't really tell. But yeah, I haven't really used it as like a secondary screen, mainly because most of the games that I play on the PS4, like I've said before, are these gorgeous, luscious, big games. And you need like some decent analog sticks, thumbsticks for them to play most of the time, like GTA and stuff like that. You can't really do that on the Vita thumbsticks. It kind of ruins the game in itself.
Have you found yourself not bothering to download certain PS Plus games on your main console and just, you know, the cross-play stuff? Have you found yourself just playing some of those on Vita rather? Because we were talking about Counter-Spy a little while ago where you said that a lot of the time it's the graphics for you, and you found yourself getting on better with certain games on the Vita specifically that you didn't think you'd maybe get on with on the PS4. Have you stopped downloading any of those games to the PS4 now?
No, mainly because the 2 terabyte hard drive, I'm just like, yeah, just got to fill it up, just put it on there wherever it is.
But, give it a go.
It doesn't mean that I've played them games. I think the thing's going to prove. Well, I've already proven it, really, haven't I? With the fact that with Counter Spy and things like that, I do prefer playing games like that on the Vita when I'm out of the house. Not like, you know, on the move or anything, but like when I'm away for a weekend and things like that, and I take it with me. That's when I play all these like free games. So like, I think it's like Hokum and things like that. I can play this month's free games. I've downloaded that Murasaki Baby as well to try out whilst on the Holishlay. I don't know what it's going to be like, but yeah, most of those games I will probably just play on the Vita when I get a chance, and not on the PS4, I think.
No, fair play, man. Fair play. I do wonder if maybe eventually they'll start bundling the Vita in with, you know, with the console. When, as the price drops down, they might start just chucking it in with it, because it seems like that's the only way they're pushing it now, is as a companion to the PlayStation 4 rather than a standalone platform of its own.
I'm sure that was a thing when the PS4 came out, because I looked at that. I'm sure there was some sort of deal you could get where it would be...
I still want one. Both. Even though there's no Vita-specific games coming out on it, I still want one. It's just a very nice device, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So, what have you been playing, buddy?
I've been playing Project Cars, because I love Project Cars. I won't go into too much detail about that this week, because I think I had my fill last week, as I sort of just vaguely creamed over it for about half an hour. I'm still playing it as much as I was last week. I love it. I've been playing quite a lot of the career mode, and it's good fun, but I think I'm probably ready, or I feel like I might be ready to tuck into some public racing now. I wouldn't do that normally. On most games I wouldn't do that, but I feel like this being a simulation, I hope to find a certain type of person on the public lobbies who isn't going to just bash into me and spoil the experience for me. And I'm looking for a challenge. I think it could be really good. So I probably won't. I tend to just create a party and sit in there on my own. I'm not too interested in talking to strangers and stuff on my PlayStation. But yeah, I'm going to tuck into that this week, and I will get back to you next week and let you know how I got on. Should be interesting. Hopefully it won't be like Drive Club in that respect. The other thing I've been playing the most this week was Grand Theft Auto, because you really did your plea last week where you said, just finish this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Nice, buddy. Was it
should have done
it?
ages ago. Yeah, it really was. Yeah, it's just so good.
Yes.
I don't know if it's my favourite game of all time, but I do think it's the best game of all time. We had that sort of crowbar of separation when we were doing the gaming year thing as well. You know, maybe what you think, what you love the most, but you can still see that maybe that isn't the best thing ever created. I really do think that Grand Theft Auto 5 is the greatest game ever made. It really is. It just is. It's a technical masterpiece, and I never get bored playing it. I really enjoyed the story. I was a little tiny bit surprised when the credits rolled. It felt quite sudden, and I know that sounds strange for a game that I've probably chucked maybe 40 hours, maybe even more than that, into single player, and probably about 100 hours into the multiplayer. But yeah, it's one of those games with multiple threads, multiple endings, and so on. So I'll be going back through and playing various different endings and stuff as well. And even after the credits rolled, it chucks you back into the game, and I found myself doing more missions straight away, side missions. There's no shortage of other things to do on there.
True.
Just a fantastic game.
Indeed, buddy. It really, really is. But that's GTA 5 for you.
Yep. So next, I've been playing Pez. I have started a career mode as Schalke, and because the German Bundesliga isn't actually on the game, there's only a handful of teams from it. Yeah. I've chucked them into the championship, so I'm playing as Schalke in the championship, looking for promotion into the Premier League. 10 points clear in January to go up, so that's going to happen. Love a bit of that. I have been playing Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus on PS Now.
That's the one. Yeah.
Now we mentioned in our news section last week that there's the voice actors were picked for Ratchet and Clank movie, including Stallone and Giamatti and all sorts. It gave me a hankering. It looks like it did you as well, because you had to go over your PSP version. And yeah, so I played this, and again, PS Now, I've still had no problems with PS Now. No lag, no screen tearing, no input delay, nothing. It runs perfectly. And the games that I've played this week on there, Ratchet and Clank and F1 Race Stars, kind of got that cartoony art style that the graphical fidelity isn't quite as crucial as it was on something like Mirror's Edge, for example. And they actually look really good. They look really decent. I've been quite surprised by that. So this is my first experience of a Ratchet and Clank game, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really nice to be playing a sort of old school 3D platformer. The last 3D platformer I played was, well, God knows, probably like Spyro or something. Really enjoying it. It's got loads of cool gameplay mechanics. I'm currently on a space station, and it's sort of got anti-gravity boots, have to like lock onto various surfaces and stuff out in space, shooting at cannons and so on. Yeah, I highly recommend it. You should definitely give it a go, buddy. It's really cool. Really like it.
Maybe I will.
Moving straight on, I've been playing Skydive Proximity Flight, which is a skydiving game where you are in a wingsuit and you have to fly down a mountain doing barrel rolls and stuff. I played that for about 10 minutes. That was a mild diversion. I'm not even going to pass judgment on it. I played it for such a short space of time. I've just been trying out random PS Now games.
Yeah, might as well, buddy.
And the last thing that I've been playing, again on PS Now, this is a game that I owned on 360 and really liked, despite the fact that it's massively flawed. F1 Race Stars from Codemasters. Codemasters' answer to Mario Kart. Did you ever play this?
I never did, but I think I will do, since it's free at the moment.
Yeah, and it's got online multiplayer, which I've tried out and it works, so we can do some online races. Maybe we could even have a crack at recording something. I don't know. Possibly. I don't know if it lets you do that or not. I don't see why not, though.
Yeah, you should be able to record it through the PS4 itself. I don't see why not.
Yeah, rather than twitching.
I know you can't stream it because I tried.
Yeah, the share button might work then. We'll have to give that a go.
Okay.
This is a really old game, so I don't know if I should really talk about it, but it's a really fun. It's a fun experience, equally fun and equally frustrating, in that there's a huge number of issues where the rubber banding is incredibly intense. The power-ups can be very annoying, but what I discovered going back to it is you can tailor the game quite nicely to how you want to play it. So one of the major problems in it is damage. Obviously being, despite being an arcade sort of cartoony experience, they wanted to simulate damage of some kind because it's based around Formula One, and that's a vital part of it. So there's sort of maybe 2 or 3 pit stops sections on each level, and if you get hit by anything, like one hit and you're severely damaged, and it basically halves your speed. Wow. It's incredibly frustrating. It just screws you over. That's a bit totally annoying. Turns out you can turn that off.
Oh, so, well, there you go then.
Which I didn't realise first time round. But yeah, it's a really nice little game. It's really fun. It's just not very fair. But it's a nice diversion from Project Cars, complete opposite ends of the spectrum. So yeah, we'll have to give that a go.
Yeah, definitely, buddy. I'm up for that. Sounds silly.
So that's what we've been playing this week.
Woo!
And now it's time for Fonz or Phoenix. Oi. What?
We really need a theme tune for that or something, don't we?
We really do. Yeah.
Oh, well. Maybe next time.
Maybe.
Maybe I'll do a drum and bass one.
Yeah.
No again.
Oh, your Project Cars trill in the intro last week, the one with all the harmonies. That was amazing. On the beat as well.
Did you like that? Yeah, I'm not doing that again.
That.
Not this week. I don't know. Maybe if I get time. If I get time, I can do that stuff. But if I don't have time, then I can't.
You're more than capable.
Indeed.
Right. This week
then.
it is.
Fonz or Phoenix?
This is a Phoenix.
Oh.
And this is a Phoenix about Assassin's Creed. I picked this one because I know that you're a huge fan of trains.
I love trains.
You love trains.
Probably the biggest fan of trains.
Huge fan of trains. Loves old Ticket to Ride.
Love Chicken to Ride.
You love it.
Love that.
So I spotted this on Eurogamer. It was originally posted on Reddit. And last week you took huge offence about the fact that the Assassin's Creed, one of the price points, the most expensive one, in fact, was the Big Ben box set, which came with came in a box shaped like Big Ben, and as you so correctly put, that's the fucking bell, mate, not the building.
It's not the building, is it? Twats.
No. Twats. Well, they fucked it again, Ash.
Nice.
This time train related. The Syndicate trailer was released by Ubisoft, wasn't it, last week? And it shows a train with the British Railways logo on it. But British Railways didn't exist until 1948.
Ah, what are they fucking playing at?
And the game is set in 1868.
These guys are fucking clown shoes.
Unbelievable.
Who does their research?
You'd think they hadn't been making historical third-person games for the last 15 years.
I know, right? I fucking love shit like that. It's so funny.
Yeah,
it's so pointless, but I'm
on Eurogamer, they literally highlighted it. They put it up as the article was like, I think you're fined, which is just so apt, like so fitting. And they had an even better example. This was from another user on Reddit whose tag name is Train Fans with a Z on the end. He said, the locomotive model is incorrect as well. It appears to be a 422 GNR Sterling, the first of which was not constructed until 1870. Well, so the train's 2 years older than it should be as well.
Mate, these guys have absolutely... I don't know, I mean, you can't come back from that.
You were already saying, after that Bell faux pas last week, then you probably weren't going to buy that. But now with this ridiculous continuity error in the trains.
What is this?
What is this? That's why Ash isn't buying it.
Only I can edit the truth, buddy.
So yeah, that's a Phoenix. Get your facts straight. Seriously, you make games that are literally about history. Do your research.
Yeah, it's like the Phoenix of the heinous proportion.
Yes, it is.
Indeed.
We'll never have a worse Phoenix as long as we both shall live. So that is Fonzor Phoenix.
It's a good one this week, buddy. I like that.
Thank you. Thank Eurogamer. And now it's time for the news.
The news.
The news.
Oh, don't be adding more stuff to the news. That's 4
I'm doing
now.
it.
We've got to do
I'm getting
every
involved.
time. Jesus Christ. Okay, come on then.
Number one.
Number one.
Number Wang. Last week we reported that the Brazilian ratings board had outed,
God
amongst
bless
other
them.
things, Gears of War. There was going to be a remaster, it was alleged, based on the fact that the Brazilian ratings board had rated it and presumably wouldn't rate a product that doesn't exist. It looks like that was the case because literally, I think it was probably about 2 hours after we finished recording the podcast last week, this story broke. Someone posted gameplay footage, only about sort of 15 seconds or something, but it was quite clearly gameplay footage. It was quite clearly Gears of War 1. It was quite clearly not the original version. So
yeah, it definitely wasn't the original.
it looked very nice, actually.
I think I can verify
I thought it looked very nice. So yeah, it looks like it's a thing. Suggesting the Brazilian rating board and our new credible source of release information. So perhaps next week's news could be sponsored by the Brazilian's rating board.
That footage was pulled down pretty quick, from what I remember, as well, wasn't it?
Very quick, and then posted somewhere else, and then that was pulled down as well. Did you get the chance to see it?
Nah, I didn't. I'm not fast though. I saw some pictures of it though. And, comparison.
I watched
pictures
it.
and stuff.
As I said, it was only, I think, 20 seconds long at most, but it looked very, very nice, very pretty, and it made me remember what a cracking game that was when it came out, how excited we were for it as well, and it was a brilliant game. The co-op was excellent in there, and I remember playing that. I think I played that local round of friends, and then
you could.
the online was great as well, really fun.
Yeah, it was
excellent
cool.
game it was.
Talking about short videos, have you seen the Doom trailer?
I heard somewhere that it was like it's a cancelled version of Doom rather than the actual Doom that's coming out. Was that wrong?
Yeah, I think it's like an actual like a teaser thing, because it says like this is announced at E3 at this time.
Right. Okay.
And it's literally like 13 seconds long. I think about 6 of which is just like a black screen with text, and then you see a gun reloading and like this skeleton thing with shit on his back with like big guns. And I'm like, wow, that was impressive. It showed me absolutely nothing, but then again, it's a teaser for the reveal, so they're not really going to give much away, I'm guessing. So. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there because I thought it was pretty strange. Like, just like, there's 6 seconds. Enjoy.
To wait all this time as well, and then, like, just leave it. You know, it's nearly E3 anyway.
Yeah, there was a cracking comment. I think it was like on the lines of, well, that's the best 6 seconds of Doom I've ever seen, or I've seen so far. Yeah, nice.
Just leave it alone. It doesn't build hype.
That's all it is. It's just like, yeah, Doom's coming, and that's it.
It's like almost just a reminder.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys. But yeah, anyway.
Right then, number two. Konami says, stop worrying about the future of PES. This is from Adam Batty, who is the I think he's the UK social media geezer, but he says that they can't wait to show the fans what they have in store for the next iteration. I think a lot of people have been concerned because Konami seem to be kind of disappearing into themselves. The whole Kojima thing.
The slot machines, is it?
Slot machines making up a huge amount of their revenue. Yeah. They're investing in property all over the place and stuff.
A lot of mobile stuff or something they're on about now as well.
Yeah, mobile stuff as well.
Good times for Konami.
Yeah, but this is the suggestion that you don't need to be concerned about PES. I mean, to be honest, it feels to me like PES really did claw back a lot of ground on FIFA this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Got us back, at least.
It got us. Yeah, we switched. We switched this year. Don't regret it at all. I think FIFA 15, it kind of, they were always walking that tightrope between progression that is too slow, slight updates, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
It just didn't do enough for me this time round. I didn't think it was a big enough step forward from 14. Mainly the differences, like the pitch cutting up and so on. There's gimmicks, and PES came back with a vengeance. I love that PES game. Perhaps the next version will have enough fucking servers 7 months into its lifespan. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, Ash?
Yeah, I'd like to be able to get onto the servers without having to mash the X button over and over again. That'd be nice.
That
is a game in itself, though. So,
Lobby watch.
Big fan.
Mate, that could have been a Phoenix every week since we started doing this podcast. I can't believe they haven't done anything about that. Not only have they not done anything about that, they haven't mentioned it. They've pretended like it isn't an issue. They're under constant pressure from people saying, why are the lobbies full all the time? And I'll get that message on a Tuesday night. Like, it doesn't seem to be like a peak times thing. There just aren't enough servers for online team play. Absolute shocker. Either way, nobody trusts Konami anymore. After all this Kojima stuff, the Silent Hills going away, talk of slot machines and property and mobile games. So, thanks very much, Adam Batty, but I think we will keep worrying. Thank you very much, because I wouldn't be even remotely surprised if I woke up tomorrow and Konami had released a statement saying they weren't ever going to make another PES again. Because that seems to be the way the company's being fucking run at this point, from an outsider's perspective. And we certainly aren't being appeased with any sort of information. So, we'll keep worrying. Thank you very much.
Next.
Microsoft saving a lot of exciting reveals for Gamescom. Which is a bit of an odd thing to do, I think. I mean, releasing that as a news story, how far are we from E3? Like 4 weeks? 5 weeks?
Yeah,
like
a month or so, isn't it?
So 5 weeks before E3 to come out and say that you're saving a lot of exciting reveals for Gamescom, it almost feels to me like that's an excuse before the fact. Like, our E3 is going to be underwhelming, but don't worry, because we're saving a lot of exciting reveals for Gamescom. I might be completely wrong.
I don't know about it, but didn't they come out? They came out with that first, and then they came out with another statement saying like, "Oh, but no, there's still big announcements at E3," kind of thing. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they came out with something about 2 days later saying that the lineup of games they have for this year's E3 is the greatest lineup of games ever.
Oh, there you go.
Which is literally the opposite to the statement they released 2 days earlier.
And that place is just a shambles. Like, they don't know if it's arsehole or breakfast half the time, do they?
It does seem that way. Like, every time they gain a bit of momentum, then there's a misstep. Either way, I really hope that Microsoft has a crack in E3. I hope they've got loads of shit there, because I want that competition to be there. I really want it to be there, and at the moment it feels like it kind of isn't. But I think they've done some great work under Phil motherfucking Spencer to claw back some credibility. And I'm interested to see how they approach E3 and Gamescom, because this is the first time that Microsoft have been up on a stage since it's become apparent that a lot of third-party releases are popping up in a higher resolution on the Sony console than the Microsoft one. So it's going to be a very interesting set of conferences, isn't it, this year?
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from like the press conferences this year. I mean, are they going to come out and like say or address some of the issues that they know everyone's complaining about, or do you reckon they're just going to gloss over it and try and show off all these new fancy games that they allegedly have, and we'll see it like glaze over people's eyes with their lovely whatever it is? What do you reckon?
I think the latter. I think Microsoft have made their bed now. I don't think that they're going to suddenly find some magical way of getting more grunt out of that hardware. I fully expect Microsoft to focus very, very heavily, just bombard us with games, and hope that disguises the fact that they're running the underpowered system, and then keep pushing more and more software on us until inevitably, I think they'll go live with a new console. I think that the next hardware iteration is going to be completely stunted, because it's quite apparent that Nintendo, you're probably talking 1 or 2 years before a new Nintendo console comes out. The Wii U, it's stabilized itself to a degree, but it has been a flop. There's no escaping that fact. It's a very attractive system, and there's been some great software on there, but it hasn't been a success. The figures don't lie as far as Nintendo are concerned.
True.
So yeah, I mean, you're looking at a situation, from what I can make out at this point, where Nintendo are going to pop up with a new console in a couple of years. I can't see Microsoft making it more than 3 or 4 years before they have to bring something new out as well. And then there's questions: what does Sony do? Do they hang on? I mean, they'll be behind for a year or two, but if you think back to the previous generations, PlayStations have been less powerful than the competition on several occasions before. I'm thinking back to sort of Dreamcast days. It didn't hurt them. So I think you're probably looking at a situation where you're going to get all 3 consoles coming out with a year or 2 or maybe even 3 in between. It could prove very interesting, and a massive headache for third-party developers as well. God knows how that's going to work.
Yeah, definitely.
Either way, I mean, Sony, I think Sony have E3 problems as well. You think about their big franchises, everything's been delayed. Would have expected loads of Uncharted, and that's been delayed. And then the same goes for Microsoft as well. But I don't know. Microsoft have to come out all guns blazing, don't they? They really don't have a choice at this point.
True.
Next, GTA 5 has now sold over 52 million copies worldwide. 5 million of those copies in the UK alone. What the bloody hell do you think of that, Ash?
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. That's a lot of copies.
Indeed. They did so well, like when they released it, like on the 360 and PS3, then once again on the PS4 and Xbox One, then once again on the PC. I'm sure there's people that have bought that on all 3.
Do you remember me complaining, taking the piss and complaining and saying, what the hell were Rockstar doing releasing this like in the final few months? Because I mean, wasn't it like 4 months before the new consoles or something?
Yeah, something like that, wasn't it?
It wasn't a very long. I can't remember the exact dates, but I remember saying, like, why the hell are they releasing this, this incredibly ambitious game on the last gen consoles? Well, I've been kind of answered quite spectacularly in that, because they could run it on those consoles, and they cleaned up, and then they brought it out on the new consoles, and they cleaned up, and then they brought it out on PC.
With a few new features as well. On the next gen consoles.
GTA Online, you wonder whether GTA Online was perhaps delayed to allow for it to launch on all the different platforms, and then You know, that's another sort of, it's almost like a timeline of various releases that there's never more than a couple of months go by without something else being added or coming out or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was like the first person view when it came to the next gen, and then the Heist came out kind of coinciding with the PC relaunch and things like that. You know, you got to think, was this actually planned, or I don't know.
I think a lot of it probably was, but
Yeah.
Just an incredible achievement. And also, now this is interesting, parent company of Rockstar, Take-Two Interactive, have issued a statement this week saying that they haven't been talking about story DLC, which is something that people have been discussing, and it's rumoured that they were talking about. Rockstar are saying they have made no announcement about this. You called this about 3 weeks ago, and I completely dismissed you at the time. I said there's no way, this far into the life cycle of the game, that they could possibly be coming out with story DLC. And then all of a sudden, the rumour mill's churning, and maybe there's something in it. I don't know.
Yeah, why not, mate? That story was ace, as you know now.
Yes, having completed this week, I do know now. But I still think, I don't know how you'd go about that. It's just been such a long time. You're talking like a 2.5 year gap since the launch of the original game. New story DLC at this point, like, that seems pretty weird to me.
But due to GTA Online, like, thousands of people are still playing that game, booting it over like every day, doing more whatever they're doing. I mean, like, for instance, say they brought in another character. So, like, in your single player, instead of having, like, the 4 people, so you'd have Trevor, Michael, Franklin, and then your online character at the bottom. Imagine if they added, like, a new character into that, so there'd be 5 people on the wheel. You know, that's...
Maybe a woman, Ash, if they could afford to render one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that brings out even more opportunities for whatever they want to do. You know, you can switch between 4 people instead of 3, or I don't know. Could be ace.
I think you're right. I think what you're saying is fact, that all of the normal constraints and the standards of what I would expect to see from a usual release, they just don't apply here. So it shouldn't be surprising if they suddenly announce story DLC. People would go fucking mad for that. Yeah. And just the same as if whenever they release anything, to be honest. Interesting to see if they make any sort of appearance at E3. Rockstar have always been a sort of, we don't care what everyone else is doing. We might announce something, we might not. We'll see how we feel, kind of thing. But be interesting. I don't know if maybe... What, are we looking at a Red Dead 2 next, perhaps?
Possibly, that'd be nice. Be pretty sweet.
That'd do us.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, we'll move on. There's going to be quite a lot of E3 related bits and bobs over the next few weeks because, as is naturally the case when you're building up towards a big expo like that. Next, Nintendo finally scheduled their news conference in the same spot that Square took. I don't know if you remember, a few weeks ago we mentioned that Square Enix had decided to do a conference and they'd booked the Nintendo slot.
Weird.
Very weird. Either way, Nintendo finally scheduled their conference in their normal slot, the one that Square had taken, and Square have moved theirs. So...
Weird.
It's a bit of a non-story. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if Square just forgot Nintendo existed. But, yeah. No idea. But anyway, next. There is a new Need for Speed coming out this year, Ash. It's from the makers of Need for Speed Rivals. There's going to be a reveal event on Thursday. Normally we would be recording the podcast on Thursday, but we aren't because I have gigs the next 2 nights, so it's Tuesday now, so we're not going to see that. But what we can tell you from the screenshot is that this is going to be Need for Speed Underground. It's going to be a new Underground. Does that excite you at all?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first Underground. Like, I got that when on the original Xbox. It was a cool
Xbox
game.
One.
Yeah, the first Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox One. Yeah.
That was, the original one was really good. I bought the second one. I think it went a bit open world from what I remember. Still quite good, but didn't have that aspect of the original one. I liked the underground games, but Rivals wasn't a great game, I must say.
It was average, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
at
open
best.
world as well, so I don't know if that has any bearing on this, but yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I love a good boy racer game. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I hope that's really good. I was quite a fan of that franchise as well, so I think it's the right time to go back to it. It's been bloody ages,
Yeah, it's
so
been a long time.
makes sense. More racing-related news. Drive Club. The level cap, which was 50, has been since it launched. It's going up to 55 this month, and it's going to keep rising every month from now on. No one cares, Drive Club. No one cares. It's too late. It's too late. You waited too long to fix your game. There's still no private lobbies, and everyone has moved on. Project Cars and F1 on the way. I'm sorry, you're too late.
Rubs.
Do you agree with me?
Oh, Gibbons, yeah, I couldn't give a fuck about Drive Club anymore. Long gone.
Yeah. I was running a little bit low on disk space the other day. I was like, what should I delete?
Drive Club.
Drive Club.
Yeah.
Next,
This
and
is
related to the
ace.
previous story, Sony is opening a new studio in the UK to work solely on Project Morpheus stuff. I don't know if this is Project Morpheus specific games or helping other developers make their games work really well on Morpheus. I think it's Morpheus specific games. Either way, you remember we ran that story a little while ago that about half of Evolution Studios have been laid off.
Yep.
Looks like they found new jobs.
Nice.
I don't know if the awful launch of Drive Club, they're now being punished. They're going to become Sony's version of Rare, where they have to work on. It's the equivalent of the Kinect studio.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. It's a good.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. We'll see, I suppose. Cool that they're making a new studio. It's always cool when a new studio opens. And we'll see. I don't know if there's going to be much Morpheus at E3. I wouldn't have thought so. I said in my E3 article that I wrote a little while ago, I hope that someone tries to have a real good go at showing off some of these headsets, because you literally can't, in like a conference, you can't show it off.
There's no way of doing it. Like,
No.
You need to try it out, surely.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope someone has a good old go at that, because it'd be funny, just for that reason alone. So you found something that you liked the look of that you wanted to talk about as well, didn't you?
Yeah, this is not really news, but like, even though I did read it on a news website, and
That'll do.
yeah, there you go. So it's news. There's a game apparently coming out this year. I couldn't find out when it's coming out, but it's called Oxenfree, and I really like the look of it. It kind of reminds me of something like The Cave, them kind of games, like 2D side-scrolling adventure games, that we're massive fans of. But this is like heavily based on like storytelling and the narrative. So I watched like the first 10-minute intro trailer thingy-madingy earlier today, and you know what? I really want this game. It's a bit different. I don't know why it's different. The art style is pretty cool.
I love the art style. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about this game other than what you're telling me and what I'm looking at on my screen, but it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you're seeing them like on the beach or something like that. But then later on in the game, it all goes a bit fucking mental, and there's all like poltergeists and weird shit going on. Normally, I don't like scary games, but I think I could hack this one. I'm not too sure though. I might not.
Very intriguing, man.
Yeah,
Very
seriously.
intriguing.
I like the narrative of it. So like you can walk around while you're talking to people, and obviously like in a way you're given like 3 possible answers that you can give for the questions and things like that. So you're going to be able to mold the story in your way, but. Yeah, man. I just thought I'd give, if anyone's missed it or hasn't seen it on any websites, it seems pretty cool, and I think I will be getting it.
Yep, totally, man. Really like the look of that. Oxenfree, if you haven't seen it before, and we will post a link to the website in the podcast description on whatever platform you're looking at. So should pop up whether you're using an app or you're on YouTube or whatever. We'll pop that there so you can find it easily, because that tends to be how we roll.
Yeah, it's made by some guys from Disney and from Telltale Games, who have just started working together.
Which is nay bad.
No, big dick players.
Like it. So that is the end of the news. And now it's time for Out This Week, Ash's favourite section. He thinks it really merits a position in this podcast because of the myriad of gigantically fantastical games that come out every week, none of which I can say the name of.
True. I think you should be alright this week.
Yeah, we're looking pretty decent. So out this week we have Badland Game of the Year Edition coming out on all platforms: Xbox One, PS4, PS3, Wii U, Vita, PC, Mac, Linux. And that is, fairly interesting looking 2D side-scroller that I quite like the look of. Game of the Year Edition, I guess it's passed me by completely. Maybe it was PC only beforehand. I don't know. Either way, I like the look of that. So that's cool. That's coming out on the 26th. Magicka 2 is out this week as well. We talked about that last week. Are you going to get it?
No.
You're going to leave it for now?
Yeah, I'm going to wait till it goes in the sale, buddy. I don't think there's like a boxed version, so it's going to be like a downloadable only game. So yes, I will wait until it pops into one of the sales to pick it up cheaper, and I'll get it on PS4, not PC, because I don't want to play on the keyboard.
Because the thing about it is we've still got loads of games to play through co-op and complete. We haven't played Helldivers for ages. We've got that Lara Croft, Temple of Osiris. We haven't finished that. In fact, we've barely even started that. We've got a lot to be getting on with, and then you chuck in Project Cars.
Episode 2 of Tales of Borderland, which I can't wait to play. Yeah.
Overload.
Yeah.
So that's a game we will definitely eventually get, Magicka 2, but we probably won't get it in launch week. We'll probably wait until it drops down a few quid, although I think it's only like sort of $12.99 anyway, so probably a bargain if you like that sort of thing.
Yeah, indeed, definitely.
Next, Magnetic Cage Closed on PC. I watched a little video of this. It looks like Portal. It's a first-person puzzler. It even has a lady voice, although not GLaDOS. Oh. But yeah, it's a first-person puzzle adventure. Looks quite interesting. Next, Ultra Street Fighter 4 is out on PS4 this week. I don't know if that has any bearing on the incredible sales of Mortal Kombat X, but it looks like fighting games are kind of back in a big way off the back of that. That held top spot in the charts for a few weeks, Mortal Kombat X. So, fair play to them. That's coming out. Have you seen Cat Lateral Damage, Ash? Do you know anything about this?
No, I do not. I will Google as you speak.
Okay, this is out on the 27th of May. This is a first-person cat game in which you are a cat in a room and you have to wreck that room as a cat in first person.
Okay, I'm seeing a few images. It looks a bit weird.
Yeah. I don't know how serious this is. A long line of simulation games such as I Am Bread and Goat Simulator. That's where it's sort of sitting for me in terms of
I'm watching
recent
the
releases.
cat lateral damage infomercial on YouTube at the moment. Yeah, it's definitely not taking itself seriously, I must say.
Which is probably best.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's out on PC, Mac, and Linux this week. It looks quite funny. It's got a bit of a whiff of one of those YouTube games about it, where it's possibly a gimmick that will last about 15 minutes, and that might be enough, but not for the gamer. Rogue Legacy is out on Xbox One. That was in PS Plus a couple of months ago. A lot of people really liked that. I wasn't one of them. That's not to say that it's not a good game. It's just not my sort of game. Yeah. It's a 2D castle attack game with permadeath. Yeah, I found it very annoying, but a lot of people will like that. So that's cool that that's out on the Xbox. And finally, Splatoon is out on the Wii U. This is a game that's garnered a hell of a lot of hype. It is a first-person shooter from Nintendo, which is a ridiculous rarity until you find out that it is basically paintball, or rather sort of Portal style, chucking paint at each other and so on. A lot of people excited about this. There was a beta last week which I don't think went down very well at all, and I think they're actually going to be running another beta test during launch week, which is a little bit bizarre.
That's weird. Releasing the game with a beta at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it,
bit
why
strange.
not? Hey. Oh well.
But yeah. There's been plenty of Wii U software out over the last few weeks, as we've found out. Splatoon's quite a big one. Had a lot of interest at last year's E3, and we'll just have to see how that does.
Yeah.
And that is out this week.
Hey, wait. You've missed a big one, buddy.
Have I?
Yeah.
What's that?
You might want to check that document that I've just edited right now.
Oh, good lord, really?
Yes.
What, on PlayStation?
On PS4.
Ash has just written Farming Simulator 2015.
I'm pretty sure that is on this week.
Well, that's just come out of nowhere, because that's on none of the websites that I regularly check. Although, if you search Google News for that, then it comes up, Farming Simulator 15 is now available for Xbox One, according to Xbox Live's Major Nelson. So it looks like they've just chucked it up onto both the stores. Is that the case?
I don't know, buddy. I should be rigorously checking this date, but no, it's up.
Wow. Okay. Well, we played the absolute ever-loving balls off of Farming Simulator 2013, was it?
Yeah, go on, 13.
It's one of those games, like a lot of people have got a real love for Euro Truck Simulator, in that it's just one of those games where you're basically doing a job, but for some reason it's very satisfying. No one really knows why, but it just is.
I just love mowing and, harvesting.
Yeah. If you're a bit OCD, then you will absolutely lap it up.
It's great. Best game ever.
Yep. Very cool.
Anyway, that is out this week.
That is out this week. Do you have a question for us here at the Justice for Gamers podcast? Every week we'll be ending the show with questions and comments sent in by you. pop us a message on one of our social media sites or send an email to contact@justiceforgamers.com and we'll do our best to sort you out. And now it's time for questions and answers. And we've heard from PJ this week, who you may remember, if you listened last week, was an official sponsor of episode 11 of the podcast. Now, despite being an official sponsor of episode 11 of the podcast, we didn't actually answer any of his questions in the questions and answers section.
Meh.
Which was really remiss of us completely. And for that reason, we're going to answer like 3 or 4 of his questions this week. So if you sent a question in this week and it hasn't been answered because you aren't PJ, then suck it. We'll probably we'll probably answer it next week.
Yeah.
But this is strictly PJ related questions and answers right now.
Go on then.
Okay, number 1. What is the worst way in which numpties have ruined a multiplayer game? For example, stat boosting on FIFA, spawn camping, etc. He says he can't stand a spawn camper. Can you think of an example?
Racing games, people that hit you on purpose.
Yeah.
I can't
Especially on games
it.
with damaged models. That's quite frustrating, isn't it?
It's just pointless. Like, say you're behind them and you judge your turns and everything, and then you manage to get them around them without hitting them. Obviously, that aggravates them with their short temper, and then they see the opportunity to overtake you by just hitting into you. You know, it's fine. I mean, that's why I stopped playing Drive Club, but, you know, yeah, that's one of my most annoying ways that numpties ruin multiplayer, I must say.
I think for me it's the stat boosting on FIFA, when you're playing pro clubs and these players who have got themselves up to sort of a 99, they can just score from anywhere. A lot of the time, this isn't 100% of the time, but I would say 90% of the problems you have with trolls and cheats and spawn camping and stat glitching and stuff, 90% of that is entirely the fault of the developer in my book, because they've allowed that to be a problem. They've allowed that to happen, and you know, sometimes I suppose you can't predict how people are going to play your game like 100%. Then at that point, it's your responsibility to patch out any sort of weaknesses at a later date. But 90% of the time, the stat glitching on FIFA, EA could have dealt with that. They didn't, presumably because they just didn't fucking care. Drive Club fails to penalise people enough for ramming into you. They could easily do a Project Cars style 30-second speed penalty. They chose not to. Most of the time, it is the fault of the developer if there's some sort of thing like even to some sort of extent, probably a lesser extent, spawn camping. If you know, the best maps, the best first-person shooter maps, there is nowhere to spawn camp successfully and be a massive nuisance. You know, the best Call of Duty maps, thinking Modern Warfare 1. These are maps that have 3 entrances to every room you're going into. There's nowhere to sit. There's nowhere to hide. Most of the time, it's down to the dev for me. But yeah, I would say probably FIFA, the stat glitching players on there who were so much faster than everyone else and could just crack it in from 40 yards. That'd be my one.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's move on. Next, this is kind of linked to the above from PJ. Should there be some sort of system like timeouts for certain sorts of behaviour? When he's played FIFA clubs, loads of teams would quit after going a goal down in the first half, and it was often discussed maybe there should be some sort of 10-minute, 15-minute cooldown where they're unable to join another game for a certain specific amount of time as punishment for that. What do you think of that? I think it's quite a good idea, to be honest.
Yeah, I like the idea. So yeah, for instance, like the FIFA episodes where we would go a goal up in like the first 5 minutes or something, and then a team would quit out. That was really annoying. They should really get punished for that. But then again, I've had situations where I've started up a game and I have to run off for various reasons. Mainly, one of my kids is crying. So I can, if I came back after like 5 minutes and I was locked out for another like 5 minutes after that, not out of my fault, I'd be pretty pissed off. So
I would blame you though, buddy. I mean, you had those children that were crying. That was your responsibility.
That's true.
I think you're entirely responsible for those crying children that you then have to go and deal with.
Indeed, yeah. I get that.
No, I know what you're saying. I mean, it's not just that, is it? It's circumstances beyond your control, like server issues. You know, we used to regularly get booted off of FIFA, and it wasn't our fault. We didn't quit. It just kicked us. So.
Yeah. I think the way that Pro Evo did it or do it is a good way. Like you get a reputation thing. So the more times you quit out, the lower your reputation. Therefore, you only play against lower reputation people. I think that's a better way of doing that.
That's the best way, definitely. And more games are doing that. More games are introducing that. There should be some etiquette there. We used to get the feeling on games like FIFA where I just got the impression that developers absolutely didn't give a toss. All they cared about was everyone buying the game, and making it, if making it fair, making it just would alienate 3% of their possible sales figures, then fuck everyone else. They can just live with it. That was the impression that I got.
Pretty much.
So, not to pick on EA all the time, but seriously, FIFA's user base online is fucking awful. It really is fucking awful. Just ridiculous. And if you're a FIFA player right now, you're either one of the awful people or you know exactly what I'm saying. So there we go. Next question. This is from PJ. Can the high street games retailer survive much longer? What do you reckon?
I can't remember the last time I went to a shop at all.
Whereas I still regularly go to shops.
Okay.
Although usually to look.
For me, I don't see games being a high street thing anymore. You might have the odd, like, I wouldn't say like boutique game store kind of thing.
Like,
sort
of independents, the more interesting ones that go down the sort of figurines and all sorts of memorabilia sort of route as well. Yeah,
so it'd be like a mishmash of like different geeky things. Like, I think they could still survive, you know, if you put some kind of like USP thing in their unique selling point. You could get like a group of people, like, you know, regulars and things like that coming down, like holding like game nights and things like that. That'd be quite cool.
Definitely, yeah, community feel.
Yeah, I think the generic game can't really last that much longer, mainly because of the price points of them. They're just.
I get the impression there's two trains of thought here with game, and we can only really talk about game because they're the only game-specific retailer on the high street in the UK. Everyone else is gone. Obviously, there's the supermarkets and HMV and so on, but I mean, game-specific game shops. It's just game, isn't it? They're massively overpriced.
Yes.
Even over the last few years, online store prices have been fairly stupid a lot of the time, like too much. Games somehow manage to regularly price their physical copies higher, despite those ridiculous price points. I'm noticing a difference now on the online stores. More often you're seeing pre-orders at £40, £45 rather than the £55, £60 that they were maybe a year ago. And you start to wonder if, because presumably the people in charge of game aren't, nutters. They know what they're doing here. And I do wonder if they're just trying to get as much money as they can before their inevitable demise. That's kind of how it feels. Because you go in there and there'll be something that's 35 quid on the store and Game are selling a physical copy for 59.99, and you're thinking, are you just preying on mums who are buying stuff for their kids? Like, just you preying on people who are completely uninformed?
I guess they're the only people that go in there, aren't they? Because anyone that plays games, or researches games, they're going to find a better deal anywhere else.
Yeah, anyone with their own disposable income is going to shop around and find the best deal.
Yeah.
So perhaps it's the mums and the dads who are going in and buying stuff for their kids that are funding it. That you could echo that certainly by most game stores that I've been in recently. There's a huge proportion of the shop is for Amiibos and Skylanders and Disney Infinity toys and stuff. So there probably is a degree of that, but it's inevitable that it'll die. Games will go digital 100%. They basically have done on PC. A huge proportion of PC sales is now digital. The same will happen with the consoles, and there won't be anything physical to sell anymore. And you're not going to go to your high street to buy vouchers with codes on to put into your system when you can buy them anyway. So I think game will cling on for another maybe 4 or 5 years, but
I think
the writing's on the wall there. It really is.
Yeah. They ain't going to last much longer.
And the last question, this is from PJ. When was the last time you visited an arcade and played on an arcade machine? Do you remember?
12 years ago, maybe?
Jesus. Was that with me?
We went to one.
Sheerness.
Yeah, we went there. But I played...
Mate, that was 2003.
I played some arcades down in some pubs and stuff. I think it was about 7 years ago. I can't remember. It was near the end of uni, I think, possibly. Yeah. A long time ago. I haven't done that for years. Couldn't even find a place not off the top of my head around here that does that kind of thing.
Yeah, I played some arcade games in the bowling alley in Bexley Heath about 8 months ago, something like that. That was probably the last time. Before that, I was down in Hastings for a gig last year, and we went along the seafront there, played some arcade games. That was quite fun. It's still got that magic, even though, everything's all a bit sort of dilapidated and they're harder to find now. It's still got that magic, but, you're looking at £1.50 a play. I don't know if you remember this, but when we were at college. We're probably talking 2002 here, and we went into an awful. It's called In Shops. Awful little mini shopping centre in a town near the uni, and pumped 10p pieces into this archaic old. Was it like Turtles or Metal Slug 2 or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, it wasn't it. And
I think we completed it. We sat in there all, like 2 hours and completed this thing. Those days really are gone now, to be honest, for the most part.
It's just ridiculous when you're charging £1, £1.50, £2 for just a life in a game when you can buy Home or other games for £2. I mean, just look at the Steam sales. Oh my God, how many games? I think I bought Max Payne 3 for £2.50 or something.
Well, you can get Skyrim for that a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking 200 hours of gameplay there.
Yeah, there you go. So, you just got to think, do I want to have a 5-minute burn on this, or should I buy Skyrim?
It worked very well, didn't it, when technology was far more expensive to make.
Yes.
And the arcade machines were head and shoulders above what you could buy for a home entertainment system. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. In fact, if anything, because of the lack of investment in arcades, my PlayStation would probably nobble most stuff you'd find in an arcade these days anyway. Which is a shame, because there was something magical about it. I know we talked about Super Off-Road a few episodes ago. The magic of seeing all these machines and these bright lights and so on.
I remember when I was in the States, there were the hotel we were staying at, there was obviously by the swimming pool, there was a little room, and it just had 5 or 6 arcade machines, and it had this baseball game in it. I think it was a Nintendo one. I think we were there for a week or 2 weeks or something. I played it every day. I think it was 5 cents a go or something. It was awesome, and I was just in there constantly. It was so much fun. But yeah, you just don't find that now, and like you say, the price point's just way too much.
Yeah, I think there was a social aspect there as well, back in the day, that we kind of missed out on. I think we were a little bit too young.
Do you remember the skateboarding game? The one that had an actual skateboard you stood on?
Yeah, I had a version of that bought for me one Christmas that plugged into the TV.
Awesome.
But yeah, anything like that. My favourite ones were the skiing ones, where you actually literally got on the skis. And they were on casters, and you could just pivot each way. I loved that shit, man. It was just so exciting, so different.
I think that's what the arcades are really now. It's not the simulation, but
just
the
Dance,
thing where
Guitar Hero.
You can get on a motorbike, or you can get in a driving seat, or you can hold a gun and things like that. I think that's what it is, isn't it? It's that.
It's the hardware investment that has to be there, doesn't it? I mean, if we were Japanese, I presume we wouldn't be having this conversation at all, because as far as I'm aware, the arcades are massive out there still, and a lot of that is the social aspect, and a lot of it's the gimmicks.
And the bright lights. That flash.
I miss it. I miss the arcades being a big deal. Maybe they'll come back when holodecks are finally invented, buddy.
Who knows?
But until then, we'll just have to wait.
Indeed.
So that is the end of the Justice for Gamers podcast, episode 12. I've actually quite enjoyed this. It's been very relaxed, very casual. Have you had a nice time, Ash?
Yeah, it's been good for a Tuesday, buddy. Not bad.
Yes, sorry about that. We're recording we normally do it on the Thursday, and then Ash gets the chance to do some editing on the Friday. We've done it on the Wednesday the last 2 weeks because I had a commitment on the Thursday, and then he had one the following Thursday. This week I'm busy. Tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, I'm going on to some local radio station to me. On Thursday I'm at a gig somewhere around the M25 somewhere. So yeah, so it's got earlier and earlier until eventually we'll be doing it at the bloody weekend or something.
Yeah, we'll be doing it on the Sunday. We'll be like, oh well, that's next week's one, Reading. Awesome.
Yeah. So if you're listening on Sunday and there was some massive news story that broke on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then apologies.
And we'll talk about it next week.
We will cover that next time. I say next time rather than next week, because there might not be one next week, but we shall see.
Next time.
I'll keep you posted on that one.
Indeed.
And yeah, enjoy your holiday, Ash. I hope you get lots of Vita gaming done. You'll have lots to talk about on what you've been playing when you come back, I think.
Yeah, I've installed a bunch of fresh new games. I'm going to take Tearaway and Guacamelee off there, so I'm not tempted to carry on playing them. I just want to play new, fresh games that I've never played before. I mean, they might all be shit, but I'll give them a go, and I'll fill up my massive 8 gig card with at least
massive.
At least 3 games, I reckon.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm looking forward to hearing about those. That's going to be decent. While you're away, I will probably be mainly playing Project Cars, GTA, and PES 2015. But
just to differentiate from that, then.
Yeah, just move between them. It'll be fine.
Don't forget you got Thief, buddy. I hope you.
Oh yes, that's what I will. Yeah, I will get stuck into
Thing.
that while you're away. Definitely. I'll play that, and I'll probably finish that.
Cool. Enjoy.
Cool. So until next time, either next week or the week after, thanks very much for listening. You've been listening to the Justice for Gamers podcast. You can find us at www.justiceforgamers.com, Facebook /Justice for Gamers, Twitter @JusticeForGamer. We're also on YouTube, and you can find us on Google Plus if that's how you choose to live your life. And until next time, it's goodbye from me, Alex. It is goodbye from Ash.
Goodbye.
See you guys. Bye. You've been listening to the Justice for Gamers podcast with Ash and me, Alex. We release this every Sunday night, so you can preload it for the week ahead. To find out more, head to justiceforgamers.com, Facebook /JusticeForGamers, or Twitter @JusticeForGamer. If you have anything interesting to say, pop an email to contact@justiceforgamers.com, and if you could write us a review on iTunes, we'd be forever in your debt. Have a cracking week, and we'll catch you next time.